Imagine this. Your city is burning. Thousands of people are fleeing their homes. In the mayor's office, they're focused on budgets that don't prioritize your safety. Let's talk about Karen Bass, the first black female mayor of Los Angeles. While historic, her recent leadership decisions have left many asking tough questions, and for good reason. Here's why. Let's talk about priorities. In a city where wildfires are an annual threat, where dry winds and parched landscapes create a perfect storm, cutting $17.6 million from the fire department budget isn't just a bad decision, it's negligence. The Los Angeles Fire Department, tasked with protecting over 4 million residents, faced cuts so severe that off-duty firefighters had to be called in to battle the flames. But that's not all. Prisoners were also brought in to fight these wildfires. Nearly 1,000 incarcerated individuals were deployed to the front lines, working tirelessly along professional firefighters for wages as low as $6 per day. These men and women risked their lives cutting fire lines and removing fuel to slow the fire spread, yet their contributions are often overlooked. Meanwhile, resources that could have strengthened the fire department were diverted elsewhere, leaving both firefighters and inmates to shoulder the burden of these devastating blazes. Leadership isn't just about making decisions, it's about making the right decisions when it matters most. Karen Bass had the responsibility to safeguard her city, but instead she was 7,400 miles away in Ghana while Los Angeles burned. Yes, representation matters. Being the first black female mayor of a major city is groundbreaking, but representation without action is just symbolism. Leadership means being present, taking responsibility, and making tough calls. Bass's absence during the fires is one thing, but what's worse is the silence that followed. When asked about the fire department cuts, she offered no explanations, no acknowledgement, no accountability. Leadership isn't about avoiding tough questions. It's about answering them with conviction. In moments of crisis, people don't need their leaders to be perfect. They need them to show up. Criticize Karen Bass, and suddenly you're accused of pushing far-right talking points. Really? Since when did accountability become partisan? This isn't about political ideology. It's about leadership decisions that directly impact people's lives. Identity politics are important. They ensure that everyone has a seat at the table. But let me be clear. Identity alone doesn't put out fires. Representation is the door, but accountability is what determines if someone can lead effectively once they step through. Let's not confuse the two. And here's where it gets truly dangerous. Deflecting criticism because of someone's identity doesn't protect progress. It undermines it. When we excuse failure under the guise of protecting representation, we set a precedent that harms the very people we're trying to uplift. Critiquing leadership isn't about tearing someone down. It's about building a standard for everyone to rise to. Karen Bass's identity as a leader is significant, but her actions, or lack thereof, are what we must focus on. Here's a bitter irony for you. While Los Angeles wildlife fled for their lives, birds choking on smoke, deer fleeing to highways, aquatic animals facing polluted streams, the city allocated funds to the zoo instead of the fire department. Now, I'm not saying the zoo doesn't matter. What I'm saying is, wildlife doesn't care about zoo exhibits when their habitats are on fire. Wildfires don't just destroy homes, they devastate ecosystems. Animals are forced out of their habitats, face starvation, and become vulnerable to predators. Even aquatic species suffer as ash and debris contaminate waterways. The solution? Prevent fires from spreading in the first place. That starts with a properly funded fire department. Instead, resources went to symbolic gestures while real lives, both human and animal, were left unprotected. You don't save wildlife with PR campaigns. You save them by keeping their environments intact. Let's not sugarcoat it. Karen Bass's leadership decisions failed Los Angeles when the city needed her most. Cutting $17.6 million from the fire department budget, leaving homelessness funds unspent, and being absent during the crisis, it's not just a bad look, it's a betrayal of public trust. Accountability matters because it sets the bar for what we expect from our leaders. If we refuse to hold leaders accountable, especially historic ones, we risk letting identity politics overshadow real progress. Representation is powerful, but it's only meaningful when it's backed by action. Leadership isn't about being the first. It's about being the best for your job. We don't critique Karen Bass because she's a black woman. We critique her because she's the mayor. And when her city burnt, her decisions didn't hold up. Accountability isn't about tearing people down. It's about making sure the next leader, the next historic first, doesn't make the same mistakes. So what's the lesson here? Leadership matters, identity matters, but accountability matters most. It's not enough to celebrate milestones. We have to demand results. If this resonates with you, share your thoughts in the comments. Let's start a conversation about what leadership and accountability should look like in our communities. Because when leaders fail, it's the people who pay the price. It's your boy, Uncle Papita, and I'm out. Peace.